You were knocked unconscious, placed in the vehicle and driven out of the city, then pushed into the reservoir. We don't know by who.
Now, Effie's attempt to kill Lauren was, in my opinion, a poor attempt at killing someone who really was crucial to Jenny Sullivan in taking down Tariq St. Patrick. She once described herself as a monster, but that's different to being a killer, and that's something we do need to bear in mind. She isn't exactly an experienced killer, and it definitely showed with the way she tried to kill Lauren. This was supposed to be Effie's first kill, but the execution was poor, because as we all know as the audience, Lauren did survive, and now she's snitching to Jenny how Effie was the one behind the attempted murder.
That girl Effie, she tried to kill me.
I believe you. I do. But right now, I do not have a single shred of hard evidence to go on.
So having said that, something I've broken down over my time analyzing power is the importance of Law 15 from the 48 Laws of Power, and why it's so crucial that people like Effie and Tariq St. Patrick crush their enemy totally. In this game, you can never go halfway with your enemies, especially with those who have too much information in the world of power. To survive in this world, you need to be ruthless and be willing to do whatever it takes. So if that means eliminating anybody that poses a threat, whether it be a loved one or someone close to you, then so be it. Sometimes you do need to make a choice, just like Tariq St. Patrick once had to do with his former best friend, Kanan Stark. Now, on the flip side to Law 15, it can also lead to a cycle of revenge, especially if you don't do what's necessary, and this is unfortunately a position that Effie does find herself in. The fact that Effie didn't confirm Lauren was dead, we all heard her tell Jenny it was Effie who was the one who tried to kill her, but how she was also working with Braden Weston. But that's not all. This attempted murder is about to cause a shitstorm between her, Braden, and Tariq St. Patrick. Although for the time being, even though Jenny has the information that Effie tried to kill Lauren, she's going after the sharks, Tariq St. Patrick, Monet, and the entire drug enterprise. So in essence, she's continuing to force Lauren to continue to fake her death to bring down someone who got the better of her in season 2, which is something that can't be overlooked, because Lauren at this moment in time does seem a little unhinged. And who wouldn't be being locked up with no access to anything besides your thoughts for 3 months? But in the rest of this video, we're going to be breaking down how Effie wants out the game, the subtle moves that she made with Diana, her relationship with Kane Tejada, and also Tariq, but also how based on her knowledge and power that she's shown so far throughout Power and Ghost, makes her Power Book 2 Ghost's most mysterious character. Now, ever since we were introduced to Effie in Power, she was always a character that the Power fans wanted to know more about. Who is her brother that was killed in a robbery gone wrong? Who were her parents that she doesn't bother with? Why was she all alone in this world? And who was she working for back in Power when she eliminated Tariq St. Patrick at Chode, where she called him her competition? But instead of giving us answers, the questions still continue to reign in even more after 2 episodes of season 3, which is why I do think the writers do get a kick out of keeping Effie a mystery. Now, the fact that the camera panned straight to Effie standing behind Tariq's back after Jenny told Blanca she has a CI in episode 1 may or may not be a foreshadow to warn Tariq he may want to watch his back, especially when it comes to the Lauren situation. Camera angles like this aren't done by accident, so the events of episode 1 made many question whether Effie was a CI, which of course didn't prove to be the case. She made a genuine attempt to kill Lauren, and Jenny's CI is Cooper Saxe. But again, I think the writers do like playing on Effie's mystery, which is why they've continued to do so in episode 2. So let's take a look at this in a bit more detail. Now, Effie made it clear she's only in this game because she has to be. She's using the game as a means to pay for her education, but also that she's thinking about the long term, a way out the game. This is where it comes back to need versus greed, where Effie's in the game out of need, other characters are out there for greed. This is why Effie cut an extra brick to create one for Stansfield, a place Tariq said that was off limits, and it definitely should be off limits after course correct. So the plan they came up at the warehouse was that Kane would focus on the streets, Braden would move his fair share at the country clubs, and Tariq and Effie would turn their attention to the Ivy League, which was a callback to season 1.
You know, we ain't gotta stop here. We could go to homecoming weekend at the different schools, take over all the Ivy League.
But Effie's thinking about an exit plan, paying for her education, but also how she wants to be her own woman. Throughout the first 2 episodes, she made it clear she doesn't want to just be known as Tariq's girl, she wants to be her own woman who has her own identity. But back to the topics of bricks, because I'm going to come back to her relationship with Tariq in just a moment. I raised the question in my trailer breakdown, who taught Effie how to cut a brick? Let's also not forget, Tariq did say Effie taught her how to wipe Mecca's cameras in season 2, and she could also code, where she created her own app which was very similar to Course Correct. So don't you guys think all these elements added to the ones where we spoke about her parents and brother just add to the mystery behind Effie, which is why at some stage they are going to have to answer these questions about her background, although I think we're going to have to be a little patient before they do. Now, what made Effie not publish Course Perfect for Stansfield may be a combination of things. Maybe she was thinking she doesn't want to go behind Tariq's back again. Is it a good idea to run a similar hustle like Course Correct? Who knows? But this is how Effie was planning on moving her extra brick for Stansfield, which is a perfect moment to come back to Effie wanting to be her own woman who wants her own identity.
I just don't want to be known around Stansfield as just Tariq's girl. I want to be my own woman and have my own identity.
Now, her relationship with Tariq St. Patrick is one where I do think they were off better being as friends rather than being in a relationship. Even though I think Effie does have Tariq's back and really does care for him, she will always look out for number one, hence creating Course Perfect and cutting that extra brick. She doesn't want to be known as Tariq's girl or dependent on someone else because she knows how much pain that can cause. Maybe because of what's happened in the past and how she's had to fend for herself. So I think Effie is someone who's conflicted. She knows what she has to do, but she's also showing that she's human and she loves Tariq St. Patrick.
You know, I hear that TAs sometimes keep a set for students to use.
So you want to guess what they are? Listen.
This was a very subtle move by Effie in an attempt not just to help Diana, but to keep Diana away from her man. She sent Diana in the direction of Salim to ward off any competition because she was keeping an eye on them in episode 1. It was smart and strategic, but Diana should be the least of her worries when it comes to her relationship with Tariq. The Lauren situation is something that will completely blow this relationship up, and let's see what this does to Effie, because although she wants to be her own woman, she did admit to being attached to Tariq in season 2, which is why I do think she's a little conflicted. Although she cares about Tariq and she loves him, she doesn't want to just be known as Tariq's girl. Now, something I like doing with these breakdowns during the early parts of the season is looking at the scenes we haven't seen, because it does tend to give us a clue for what's to come, especially now that we're 2 episodes in. So what we're yet to see from Effie is being taken to this sit down with Noma, which really does show how much trust Tariq has in her this season.
You've literally been the only person here for me. And I trust you. I know who you are. I'm never gonna try to change you, okay?
With Tariq's family gone, Brayden being locked down, Effie is the only one who he's been able to trust. But just look at Effie's reaction. She knows she's betrayed him and she can barely look at his face as Tariq opens up about how much he can trust her. But coming back to the clip that I just played for you guys, does Tariq know who Effie is? I'm not so sure he does. I mean, even we don't even know who Effie is apart from what we've seen. And there will be a moment between the two where they open up and say there are things they don't know about each other. So betrayal and trust will be at the center of their relationship at some point, especially when she gets roped up by law enforcement. In my breakdown after episode 1, I said sometimes this game makes people go into survival mode. So is that when we learn more about Effie's backstory, and could she turn at that point? I would like to think Effie's a character who would hold it down, and I do think in my opinion she will. But this is power, and nothing can ever be ruled out, especially after the Lauren surprise. Now at some point, we're also going to see what looks like Effie making a move behind Tariq's back with Kane. Something I don't think any of us should be surprised of seeing after season 2. Whether it turns anything more than just business between them, I definitely think Kane's got that idea, but I'm not so sure Effie does. But it certainly does add a bit of spice to Effie's mystery going forward. But that's a breakdown of Effie's character so far, and why she remains Power Book 2 Ghost's most mysterious character. After episode 2, it leaves us with more questions rather than answers, so we are going to have to be a little bit more patient when it comes to her backstory and intentions, because law enforcement and Kane will definitely play a role. But drop all your thoughts and perspectives down below and let me know your theories behind Effie's backstory. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.